Welcome to the Get Fit Guys, quick and dirty tips to slim down and shape up. My name is Ben Greenfield. I'm the Get Fit Guy, and in today's episode, you're going to learn about 3 exercise trends that may actually be bad for you, even though you thought they were good for you. Now, I recently read a fantastic book by a guy named Jeff Wilzer, and the book is called The Good News About What's Bad for You, The Bad News About What's Good for You. This book is chock full of pretty shocking advice that goes way against the grain, like eat more steak, drink more whiskey, take more naps, lay off all the kale, and throw out all your multivitamins and your standing desk. But don't throw out your Varidesk because, trust me, there's a little bit more to it as he gets into in the book. Now, from coffee to green tea, tequila to vitamin water, apologizing to swearing, and the merits of procrastination to the downsides of yoga, this book sifts through every single study that's out there to reveal some very surprising truths. Now, a portion of the book addresses the topic of fitness, which of course piqued my interest. Among a variety of topics, Jeff tackles diets, ball chairs, stretching, infomercial fitness products, yoga, CrossFit, and exercise in general. So keep listening to hear what he has to say about a few of these fitness topics. Let's start with ball chairs. You've no doubt seen them before, those giant exercise balls that folks perch on at the office or the personal trainer sits on at the gym to enhance core activation or to burn more calories. But Jeff interviews an expert who says that research studies show these things don't actually engage your core any more than a chair does. And they can actually increase compression on your low back and definitely don't burn more calories or improve your posture. So, my take? Well, I completely agree, and I actually cringe every time I see someone destroying their posture by slouching on a ball chair while innocently thinking they're somehow getting more fit. What's a better use for a ball? Well, check out ball push-ups, ball wall squats, ball bridges, or any of the other top 10 exercise ball moves that I'm going to link to in the show notes. And you can check out the show notes, as well as the book itself, over at quickanddirtytips.com. Just look for this episode number 263. Okay, so the next thing that we think is good for us, but that is actually bad for us, is stretching. Now, in this section of the book, Jeff points out that traditional static stretching, meaning stretching and holding a muscle in a stretch for an extended period of time, especially when done prior to a workout, makes you weaker and doesn't even reduce your risk of injury. He points out research that shows that after a bout of static stretching, your strength can be lowered by 8% and your stability by 23%. What's my take? Well, once again, I agree. And I get into this topic quite comprehensively in my Top 10 Stretching Mistakes podcast. But at the same time, I personally stretch and I do yoga every single day for 10 to 30 minutes. Why? Well, it helps me breathe more deeply, and it also helps to reduce stress and blood pressure the rest of the day. But I don't do it before my workouts, because I'm certainly not fooled into thinking it's enhancing my workouts or reducing my risk of injury. It's not. I instead do my static stretching early in the morning when I first get up. Now, for more information on the type of stretching that is good for you, check out my episodes on dynamic stretching and on foam rolling, which you'll find over at quickanddirtytips.com. And then there's CrossFit. Jeff describes CrossFit as the kale of weightlifting, which I'm sure will make most bacon and beef-loving CrossFitters cringe. He goes on to point out research that shows a high risk of injury among CrossFitters and the random, non-structured format of most of the CrossFit training. So, what's my take on this one? Well, I've done CrossFit. I've competed against some very fit athletes who rely on CrossFit as their sole means of exercise. The problem with CrossFit is not, I think, the fact that the exercises are bad, or the fact that, especially if you go to a good CrossFit box, the training is non-structured. The problem with CrossFit is A, unfit people who join a CrossFit gym getting pressured into performing advanced exercises with poor form or when they're very tired. B, fit athletes getting pressured to compete against their peers even when they've already trained hard the day before. And C, CrossFit coaches who might get lazy and simply start creating random workouts because those workouts are quote-unquote hard or interesting. But when applied intelligently and with good form and programming, I actually think CrossFit workouts are a great way to get fit really fast. Now, if you want more about bad things that are good for you or good things that are bad for you, I'd recommend you read the book. And if you have more questions or comments about these trends that you just learned about, then head over to facebook.com/getfitguy and join the conversation there. Another thing I want to let you know is that I spent nearly an hour on a podcast with the author of this book for my long form podcast over at bengreenfieldfitness.com. So be sure to check that out. And my fellow Quick and Dirty Tips podcaster, The Nutrition Diva, also has an interview with the author of the book about the nutrition side of things coming out very soon as well. So I'll put links to all this and much more in the show notes for this episode number 263, over at quickanddirtytips.com. And until next time, I'm Ben Greenfield, the Get Fit Guy, asking you, what are you waiting for? Go get fit.